Here.
Alderwoman Fliss.
Here.
Mayor Tutai.
Here. Telephonic meeting participation request, none.
The meeting has been properly posted and noticed several times.
Public hearing, none. Presentation, none. Citizens' comments.
I'm presuming that means none.
I will take that bet. Consent agenda. Is there any alderperson that would like anything removed from it?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Oh. No worries.
I think, the permit, I don't know, on the second one.
Ben, when we get to that, we'll let you talk for that. That would be best because we can go back and forth. Michael Haven, would you like to come up and speak? Okay. Thank you. Once we get to that part, then you both can come up here and talk then. Thank you. Recommendation of actions from committee, commissions, and boards. Action to be taken from the Planning Commission meeting, public hearing held December 7th, 2021. Change of zoning, 3815 KK Avenue. Contractor Shop Landscape Center. Mark or Steve?
I guess just have a question on that, as far as the contractor shop and landscape place. I thought this was just gonna be strictly for storage, indoor storage there?
Come on, yeah.
Yeah, that is correct.
You're just gonna make it for your shop, correct?
Right.
Okay.
It was amended, what was submitted, but probably the notice was.
Right. So and just so we're all clear, it's just strictly storage,
Contractor
correct?
shop, and that's it. No landscape center, correct?
Oh, it's just gonna be indoor storage.
So there were, Mayor, if I might.
Go ahead. Thank you.
There were two recommendations from the Planning Commission. One recommendation, there were actually two applications for rezoning. One was for a landscape center, and one was for a contractor shop. The Planning Commission recommendation was to deny on both of those. So what the property owner came back with is they're withdrawing the landscape center request, and they've modified their contractor shop request in that they've offered to limit the amount of time that we would have the special use for, so that they can accommodate the future use of the former St. Francis Brewery site. And also, this contractor shop is really a subsidiary of the owner. The owner owns this contractor's business. The contractor's business actually provides maintenance to his existing properties. So it's not like he's leasing it out to anyone else. He's really leasing it to himself and using this building as a means of storing all his equipment inside. So the staff recommendation is to approve the contractor shop subject to no more than a 5-year sunset on the special use, or having to come back and get another approval for any future use of the contractor shop after 5 years. And denying the landscaping center.
And what has there been anything modified so that kind of all those stipulations are in writing, so that we know exactly what
Sure.
we're agreeing to?
Yeah, if I may, the reason that there would be an ordinance required, but we didn't prepare one in advance tonight, just because, A, the Planning Commission had recommended denial, and B, there had been a change, and so it wasn't clear which way this was going to go. We didn't want to prepare a proposed ordinance, and the council was, against doing it. And so if the council wishes to proceed on this, then the next step would be to prepare an ordinance for consideration at the next meeting that would encompass all the conditions of the special use.
And we don't need this to go back to the planning commission at all, or?
That's certainly,
they made
that's
a
certainly a
recommendation.
potential. There have been change. I don't know that the change to the contractor shop has been, I don't think it would be considered substantive from what the planning commission had considered initially.
And I
my
thought
sense
the
at the time was
5-year
that it was more the fact, that the two of them in conjunction, that was deemed to be objectionable, but I would defer to Mr. Wadawa and Mark in that regard. You know, I think there was some concern as to that was later voiced to me with respect to the specificity of the specific proposals, you know, in total. So I think, you know, this would be something that we would address within the ordinance.
And I thought they wanted to reduce that 5-year term down to like a 3-year.
I think that was a issue of discussion, and as I understand it from the applicant here, I mean, the goal is to actually, you know, move it along much sooner than that, if I'm not mistaken. It's not that it can't be renewed after the, you know, if the 3 years are up, it's just that it would just come up for reconsideration at that time.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's no basement in that brewery, right? For storage, you have to use the brewery used to use that building for storage.
In the brewery, and there's no basement in the warehouse.
Okay.
And the warehouse historically, or the brewery historically did use the warehouse.
For storage of the material, okay, okay.
I'll make a motion to,
One second. Paul, you said 5-year and then you said 3-year. Is it 5 or 3?
Well, again, the original, the proposal at the last council meeting was for 5 years. There was a request or there was an inquiry at that time by Alderman Damon as to would a lesser period be considered, and he specifically recommended or suggested 3 years at that time. And so I think that was consistent with what the Planning Commission had originally discussed as well. So certainly as part of any motion that you could, you know, include that as, you know, we would include that in any ordinance, whatever the council includes in its motion now.
But the ultimate goal here is to get the brewery up and running, and if somebody's gonna take over the brewery, they're gonna need storage space in the
Yeah.
building next door for the business, so.
And I don't think anyone was, you know, I don't think the city's interests certainly aren't adverse to the applicant in that regard. I think everyone would like to see the St. Francis Brewery up and running again.
So my only question is then what do we gain by dropping it to 3 years? It could take them a year to get somebody, another 6 months to get it up and running and hiring staff. Now you're holding them to a year and a half, and they have to come back and ask us again. I mean, we're restricting the use. I just don't see what we gain by reducing it to 3 years.
it would only, it would allow us to review in case there were any concerns with the usage of the building. Because I think what was discussed was if an occupant goes into the brewery, they will likely use the warehouse for storage or some other space, and it won't be suitable for use as like a storage for a landscaping company. And so if somebody comes in a year and a half, great, then, you know, we don't need to worry about the sunset provision, they're likely already gone. But if somebody is, you know, or if nobody comes in and in 3 years, you know, we're getting complaints of noise or of stuff being left outside or something like that, then we've got another option with the law to, you know, renew or not renew.
Understood, but Paul, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that would be outside the use permit that we're granting, so it would be subject to review anyway by the council at that time.
Well, I think
If
there
it violates
was no
the-
request for outdoor storage as part of this, and that being the case, typically, the ordinance would include a statement that that outdoor storage is prohibited. So, I mean, that would be something, but again, you know, like, whether it's 3 years or 5 years, I don't know that it's a material issue with respect to what the applicant is proposing, so I would defer to the applicant in that respect, and, you know.
I don't know if 3 years is a big deal. I mean, I do believe, if my memory serves me correctly, at the last meeting, the gentleman had said that he would be happy with a 3-year. And then if somebody did go in there and had to use it for storage, that he had no problem with moving his stuff out of the way, so it could be used for that. So I don't see an issue with a 3-year
No,
sunset.
again, I understand, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. He's been amenable to the city, understanding we only want a brew pub in that facility. And he's honoring that. I just don't think we need to be so restrictive on this.
So what are we deciding on?
No, I was going to make a motion to instruct the city attorney to write an ordinance for all the stipulations, that they've discussed, with the, potential occupant. And, then, I think keeping it at a 5-year sunset is fine as well. I was only wondering if it did go back to planning, just for information gathering. So, with regard to that, we'll specify a 5-year sunset, and then all other stipulations that have, kind of been, talked about.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Resolutions and ordinances.
Q.
Ken, thank you.
An ordinance to repeal and recreate section 52-2 of the City of St. Francis Code of Ordinances concerning aldermanic districts as introduced on November 16th, 2021.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the aldermanic district reassignment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Discussion items with possible action. Temporary structural request 3807 South Packard Avenue, Falklandia. Would you like to come up and? Yeah. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. First off and foremost, thank you again for seeing us on such short notice. I appreciate you being behind Falklandia. Again, this is just for the temporary structure, the tent outside. It's 16 foot by 36 foot. It's 10-foot ceiling, no electricity to it, no water to it, nothing like that. It's a temporary structure to create visibility for Falklandia, which unfortunately we've seen trouble with being located where we are. And to have a space for our guests who either want to sit outside for safety or health reasons, or want to sit outside due to having small children and whatnot. We lose about 25% of our profit when it turns winter and we can no longer use our patio. So that's the only reason we tried to outfit it last year, but we're outside of the occupancy rules, so we took down the structure from what you requested, and we put the new, safer one up, and so this is our request to hopefully be able to utilize that, so.
And it would be on the patio, the same patio that's used like all summer?
No, it's only until the last snow is gone. And
Right,
we're
but it's
able-
the same physical space?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the temporary structure request unless there's any concerns from
I'll
fire
second.
employees.
Second.
Is there any further discussion from anyone?
Mark.
I might add that it has to be subject to inspection by both the fire department and the building inspector to ensure that it meets code. So
Okay.
that they're not blocking any exits or using any heat sources which may cause a fire hazard within the.
I'll update my motion.
Is there heat in there? or-
Whatever we're allowed or not allowed to use, we'll determine at that time. We have electric heaters and we have propane heaters. You guys are,
Well, you said there's no electric in there.
right, we haven't added any electric to it, anything like that. Whatever we're allowed to use, based on the city ordinance, we'll abide by that. So
So you're planning on heating it, or?
whatever we're allowed to do.
Chief
Yeah.
Poplar, you got anything to say on that? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Happy-
There's a lot of places now that have some type of heat. I'm sure that they can work
The
with the
tower
fire
heaters.
department and figure
And
something
you're not the
else
only one,
for their
Brooks Bar too,
business.
for their domes, we're going through the same thing with them.
Perfect, yeah.
I'm sure they can work with
Yeah,
them.
they
That
heat
would be
those
great.
igloos, they heat
Yeah,
all
I
those
just
things.
wanted, so the ordinance limits the term of the temporary structure permit to 1 year. I think it sounded like May 30th, or 30,
It can still snow then,
Good God, I hope
Yeah,
not.
just whenever the weather gets nice and
So-
we're able to
but
utilize
have a
it.
set date.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying,
yes.
yes.
So I think, but, as far as the motion, it should include some
May
termination.
31st?
Okay. I'll update my motion to have an end date of May 30th.
And
I
update to the update.
concur.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get one more.
And we've got a second?
I concur with that, yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Discussion items with possible action. Wisconsin Policy Forum, modeling a consolidation dispatch center for Milwaukee County's South Shore. Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. The Wisconsin Policy Forum provided a study back in 2012 on this. We did reach out to the Wisconsin Policy Forum, both the mayor and I had a conference call or Zoom meeting with them. They're willing to look at this issue again. I did reach out to the city administrator down in South Milwaukee as well as Mayor Pavlik in Cudahy. Both are willing to participate financially in the study. We didn't discuss how we would break it up, but I think for the city's sake, because we've been noticed by Oak Creek, it's in our best interest to look at this study again to determine what our actual cost should be in continuing dispatch in a new model or new contract with Oak Creek, and also adding either Cudahy or South Milwaukee or both to the dispatch center for the South Shore. So, and that was communicated to the Wisconsin Policy Forum. We have budgeted it within the capital budget, so we do have the funds within the 2022 capital budget. The recommendation is to approve the Policy Forum proposal. We'll get it scheduled. They indicated they could start in February and have it done by midsummer, sometime in June. So we should have a pretty good idea of what we actually should have to pay Oak Creek if we decide to renew the contract or work on a new contract, or if we add the other two municipalities, one or both, what the costs would be to the St. Francis in that dispatch model.
And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, that contract goes through the end of 2024 that we currently have?
23.
That's my understanding,
14.
is we have, I think we're gonna have
So basically, time is of
years,
the
2
essence.
years left, end of 2023, is it, Paul?
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
End of 2023, I believe.
So is Oak Creek involved in this discussion as well?
Well,
or
Oak Creek will, the policy forum will be working for us.
Okay.
But they'll be requesting information from Oak Creek on how many dispatchers they have, what's the cost of their dispatch center, so that they can model and determine what the costs are. So Oak Creek will have to cooperate with them in providing all that information in order to update the study.
And Mark, I don't know, did I miss it? Is there, what a cost to this? Is there a cost?
It's $10,500.
Oh, okay, maybe I missed what you said. Okay, thank you.
And Cudahy and South Milwaukee will be paying part of that.
Oh, okay.
Have offered to be
Yes,
part.
has offered. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the public policy forum as regards to the dispatch center for the city
Second.
of St. Francis.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Appointments to committees, commissions, and boards. None. Correspondence with possible action or referral to committees, commissions, and boards. Correspondence dated in December 9th, 2021, from the city engineer, fuel pumps upgrade at the city garage. Melinda?
Thank you, Mayor. At the city garage, there is a letter in the packet. The fuel pumps are they're way beyond their useful life. They're the old-fashioned where the dial spins and they used to ding and they don't even ding anymore. They're also out of compliance with current standards.
They're not Maine West pumps, are they?
Just about.
Oh, yeah, I know I made.
Leave it to Don.
So we went out, we queried 4 vendors, we received 2 quotes, so we are recommending that we move forward with the interstate pump and tank quote for $53,750.
Now, is that just for, that's not for the tank underneath and all that? That's just
That's for the
strict-
tank,
that
that's
is-
for the sump containers.
Okay.
The new pumps, a
Okay.
computerized monitoring system so that all the departments will just be able to punch in a number.
Punch in a number, yeah, yeah,
Instead
yeah.
of having to because our old punch card ticket system is long gone and everybody has to handwrite on their fuel tickets, and we'll be able to generate the reports easier than hand compiling, and So we're taking a toe into the 21st century down at the highway garage with this.
I'll move to place the letter on file and concur with the recommendation to Interstate Pump and Tank be awarded the.
Second.
And I just have one question on that. Are you gonna put it right back where it's originally at, or?
We are right now. We tried to delay as long as we could because we have the study going
Right,
forward.
and that was my
And,
only
and I
concern.
tried to work with the DATCAP, which is the state agency that regulates our pumps, and they they
Can't
really
move
want us
it?
to get this done before we wait for the study.
I mean, would it be
So-
better moved like closer to the
Well-
road, or?
Well, no, I wouldn't move them closer to the road. If anything, because we're gonna have the facility study, we may reorganize the yard. I asked Interstate Pump if we would be able to reuse the pumps in the sump container if we would need to move them somewhere, or if we brought the tanks above ground, because we have underground storage tanks right now, if we brought them above ground and reorganized. And he said we could reuse this equipment. So it's not like all $53,000 is not reusable.
I just, I guess my concern is if we're gonna
We
do
can't
it,
move it now because we need them in close proximity to the tanks. So we don't know where we would move them in the future yet.
they have to be in, I guess, why is that?
Well, there's the longer the line gets between the tank and the fuel pumps, the more,
But I mean, we're getting new tanks and we're getting new fuel pumps, correct?
tanks, not fuel tanks that can hold the fuel, it's, some containers underneath the fuel tanks in case there's a leak. So it's not like, we're not getting new underground tanks,
For the
we're
fuel.
just getting some containers underneath the fuel pumps, and new fuel pumps and a computerized system to monitor all that. And that's all what's required by the state now.
So just the bulk storage is not being exchanged right now?
Right, the bulk storage is not being exchanged. It's just literally the fuel pumps and the sump container underneath it and the computer system. The bulk storage was updated in the late 80s, early 90s to fiberglass tanks, double walled. So those are really pretty standard right now.
If, we'd have to, okay, so assuming we didn't do this and then we reorganized the yard, we'd still have to pay to move them in the future anyway. So it's not, to me, there's maybe a little bit of cost if they did choose to move them in the future, but it's probably not a ton, because not a ton incremental at least, because we'd have to pay to move existing pumps, or we pay to move new pumps.
We have to get new pumps at some point in this, and the state says we have to get them basically now.
Right.
And the thing is, we don't know, we do a facility study, but
Right.
it still could be 5 years
Or a
down the road
decade.
before
And we may
do
not move them at
anything.
all, yeah.
Right, right,
Right,
Yeah.
that's the way we sometimes move. So
And-
we basically need to do this.
Yeah.
right. Yes, thank you all for helping me clarify.
You have a second as well?
Second, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Unfinished business? None. Other business? None. Department heads? Melinda? You're on a roll.
In your packet, you have the inaugural, although not as glitzy as the fire department, the police department, or the library,
Raising the bar.
but our annual report for 2020. It's a starting point. We're not used to taking pictures of ourselves. We're not used to really, we just go and do. I mean, that's all, we have stuff to do, we get stuff done, and we're done. So, what I tried to
And
do.
you're saying that Hunter is not? You were just too quiet,
So, what we tried to do with this is just the first one that we've done, and put some information in here. I think it's pretty interesting how many square miles of the municipality we are, how many miles of alley we have, we have 38.5 miles of sidewalk. I didn't even totally know how many besides a lot before we actually measured it out. So it's been an interesting starting point. We have our organizational chart in there. I try to highlight accomplishments that we did for 2020. Throw a couple pictures in there. We'll be, as we move forward, we'll be gathering more data, more pictures. But if you have questions about it, please let me know. And then in addition to that, of course, we are getting ready for that stupid 4-letter word snow. And I will be out of the office beginning Friday, December 17, and I will be returning Monday, January 3rd. Hunter will be in the office, Dave will be around, so, and I'm still available, email, text, phone, whatever is necessary. So I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And with that, I pass.
Thank you. Chief Poplar,
I have nothing this evening.
nothing about Mexico?
No, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I miss my family. No.
They didn't miss you.
Yes, yes. And with that, I pass.
Thank you. Chief Hunter?
I also have nothing this evening. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and everybody be safe, and just remember to hug your family and tell them you love them. With that, I pass.
And that's a record.
Yeah, and has recorded this date.
Just a couple of housekeeping notes. City Hall is closed December 23rd and 24th, and December 30th and 31st. There is a drop box in the police department lobby for taxes, and the banks are back to collecting, so you can make full installment or full payments, at PNC, Associated Tri-City, and BMO Harris. So we're hoping to not interrupt service for the residents. Also, for those of you who have papers due, make sure that you get them in sooner rather than later,
Steve, Matt, Sean?
in case we have any issues. Because we have a new person that will be reviewing all the paperwork for elections and getting her broken in on how you all work. So she will call you out if we have any issues or questions. And other than that, I pass.
Thank you, Ann. Paul?
Just wanted to echo the wishes for a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all.
Thank you.
Did I pass?
Good night.
Now we're gonna go past Mark. Mark?
Sorry to break the news,
The
but
chain.
I have a couple comments here. We did receive from Bayer, SR Mills, communicated with the city attorney that he would pay the special assessment charge of $210,000, and he would pay interest and penalties in the amount of $34,000, for a total of $244,000 and some change that he paid to Milwaukee County in back taxes and special assessments. In return, the city building inspector did an inspection of all the effervescence on all the buildings, took pictures. He did not find any cracking or any of the brick that would create a public safety issue. And so they requested an estoppel letter to be able to take our default off in order to be able to refinance have their long-term financing on the project. So we have prepared a letter to send to him, which provides an estoppel letter indicating that there is no longer any defaults on the property at this time. However, we will and have requested that they have their architect continue to look at the property because there still is some effervescence on the outside brick and some areas that were of some concern. So I think he is agreeable to having his architect look at that, and we will continue to watch it in the future in case there is any issues of cracking in the mortar or if there's any safety issues with regard to any of the brick. But that's the update that I have for bear. We do also have a zoning board of appeals meeting that's going to be coming up. The Archdiocese property is requesting 2 monument signs at their entrance. Instead of 1, our code only permits 1 monument sign at the entrance. They're requesting 2, so that will be coming up through the zoning board of appeals within the next month, and that's all that I have.
Nope, American Tower.
Oh, American Tower, yes, we received, as you're aware, American Tower signed the contract. We signed the contract back in November. They did pay the $15,000 one-time lump sum amount. They also paid all the back rent going back to January 1st of 2017 in the amount of about $94,000. So they've made us whole on that contract.
Here's your pumps.
That's all I have, thanks.
Thanks. Debbie?
I'd just like to thank all the city staff for what they have done this past year. It was another trying year, I'm sure, for everyone, and so all the departments and all the staff, I would like to thank them. And of course, wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and the same to all our residents.
Thank you. Sarah?
I echo Debbie's sentiments. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. New Year to everybody. Thank you to all the city employees for everything that you do and continue to do. Let's hope that we have some safe and very merry holidays and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Sean, 3 seconds.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. You say you're available on your vacation, but I hope that's not an immediate response because it is time away from work. You're not living on your phone. It's nice having Ann back, and one of these years we'll get you a little bit more time to do our tax prep, but it was nice to get it as quickly as we did, and thank you to you and your staff. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Sean. Steve?
Just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Matt Damon?
Yep, same from me. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and excited to see what 22 brings for us.
Thank you. Council President Don Brickner?
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Have a happy holidays, and that's all I got.
Thank you.
You got your red shirt on.
I also will say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, but I'd also like to say something that I haven't said in a while, but I really appreciate this council. You guys make my job a heck of a lot easier, and I really, really appreciate all 6 of you. And with that, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and can I get a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.